Oh, I'm sorry guys. I was just too busy making money while I was sleeping. Sorry, let's get this video started. Welcome back to my channel. My name's Smay, and if you guys are new to my channel, this YouTube channel is all about personal finance. Apparently a lot of my viewers aren't subscribed, so if you guys are watching my videos and haven't subscribed, please click subscribe. It'll help me a lot. Let's get into the topic of this video. We're gonna be talking about how to make money in your sleep. How do I make money in my sleep? I'm gonna be making a lot of videos on this topic. This is gonna be the first of the many series to come out on how to make money in your sleep. With that in mind, let's go into this topic that I wanna talk about with you guys, because I know you guys clicked on it for this very reason. So let's get into it. The first part of this video is me explaining what I'm doing to make money in my sleep, what it is. So the first thing is dividends. Let's break it down. If you guys haven't invested in the stock market yet, make sure to watch this whole video, because dividends is something that a lot of people misinterpret or misunderstand. It can be very fruitful, and also a lot of people can look at it as kind of like a waste of time. For you guys who have been in the stock market, who have invested before, you guys already know that you can make money based on the appreciation of the price of the stock. So if you buy a stock at $1, it goes to $2, you make $1. But there's also something called dividends, and that's what we're talking about. Dividends is when you guys decide to buy a stock and hold it long term. And these particular stocks that you guys buy have dividends. So not every stock has dividends. We're gonna go into examples of dividend stocks that I've been buying. I've put over $10,000 into these dividend stocks, and if you guys can wait till the end, I'm definitely gonna be sharing that with you guys. So if you guys don't know what dividends are, even if you guys have been invested and or if you guys are new, dividends, according to Investotopia, a dividend is the distribution of some of a company's earnings to a class of its shareholders, such as yourself, such as me, as determined by the company's board of directors. Common shareholders of dividend-paying companies are eligible as long as they own the stock before the ex-dividend date. To kind of summarize that, basically dividends are paid out to shareholders after you buy the stock and you guys hold it for a certain amount of time. Now, how much time? So from what I've seen and what I've experienced, dividends can be paid out every month, every 3 months, which is usually every quarter of the year, or every year. Now, I typically invest in stocks that pay out monthly and every quarter of the year, so every 3 months or every month. I usually particularly prefer that because you tend to stay more involved with stocks that you're actively making money on. When you're actively making money but passively making money. So what I mean is you're making money, but you're not really doing anything, so it's passive income. And that just goes back to the whole topic of this whole video, making money in your sleep, making money doing nothing. When you buy a stock, you don't really do anything after that. The company, the owner, the board of directors aren't gonna tell you to do certain things to be qualified for the dividends. You just have to buy it. And after you buy it, you go to sleep. A month later, you get paid. And that's quite literally why I wanna emphasize dividends in this video, because dividends are huge, especially if you guys have saved money that you guys don't know what to do with. They always say don't hold cash, invest it into something so your money makes money for you. A lot of people who have money tend to invest it so that their money works for them. Now that's kind of the basic gist of finance, personal finance, right? Making money actively, whether that be at a job, and then allowing that cash to work for you. So instead of, continuing to work until you're, 60, eventually being able to retire early and having your money work for you. So my goal is to retire by 30, and that's just a quick side note, but it kind of gives you an understanding of why I'm explaining this. When you invest in dividends, if you invest enough, for example, a dividend may pay anything from 1%, I've seen, to all the way up to 15%. And I'm sure there's more, but generally it's not as safe to invest in dividend stocks that are as high as 15% because they're not as consistent with the dividends. So you may be promised a dividend every month, but some months, it doesn't pay out. Whether that be problems with the earnings, problems with the company, problems with the board of directors, whatever it may be, dividends can be safe or very risky depending on the stock that you buy. And I'm gonna go through what dividends are safe and what dividends are a little more risky, because I own both just for the sake of diversifying my portfolio. Now that you guys have a better understanding of what a dividend is, how much can you make off of dividends, right? It's kind of important. I think it's important. I don't want to invest in something I don't know how much I'm going to make off of. Like I said, dividends can be profitable because you don't do anything. So as you guys might know, the average return on investing in the stock market, whether that be the S&P 500 or the NASDAQ, if you buy an index fund or an ETF, generally the average return they say is about 7%, right? That's 6 to 8% basically, so average of 7%. If you guys take that into account, $1 million invested will make you about $60,000 to $80,000 a year doing nothing. So that gives you guys a better perspective of what I'm trying to emphasize if you guys have cash on the side. If you guys have $1 million on the side, I'm not saying that you guys do have it. I'm not saying that you guys don't have it. If you guys do, hypothetically saying have that, or if that's your goal to make that, if you have that invested into a dividend paying stock that pays you 7% a year, like some of the stocks that I'm gonna mention that I've bought, you would get about $70,000 a year doing nothing, absolutely nothing. And that can be exciting, right? That can also be kind of daunting. Like, that sounds too good to be true. Well, this is why the rich get richer, guys. The more money you have, the more that money can work for you so that you don't ever have to work again. And that's the goal here, guys. The goal here is not to make so much money and just look rich. The goal here is to make so much money that your money works for you, so you don't have to work, so you can go on vacation with your parents, your girlfriend, your wife, your children, your dogs, your grandmother. That's what the goal is, guys. So for you guys to eventually get to that point, I think everyone should understand what dividends is. That's why I think this video is so important, and that's why I think this is the first video in the series of how to make money in your sleep. There's gonna be a lot of more videos on different topics later. Now that I've talked a lot about, what dividends are, the potential gains, and the mindset that you should have when going into investing in the stock market and to dividends, let's actually get into my portfolio. Let's get into what stocks I've put over $10,000 into. Instead of breaking this video down and being an analytical video, being very precise, I know it can be boring. I know some people enjoy that, but this is going to be more of a quick run through of what I've been buying. And you guys can definitely do your own research, or if you guys want, please smash that like button and I'll definitely make more in-depth video of each stock that I've been buying. So if you guys like that type of video, if you guys want to see that, make sure to like this video and I'll definitely make that video for you guys. I'm gonna open up my brokerage on Webull, and again guys, if you guys want 2 free stocks with Webull when you guys open up an account, click that link in the description. So I'm gonna go through the stocks that I've been buying from the least amount of money I've put into them and the most amount of money that I put into a stock. So they're gonna be from least valued in my portfolio and more heavily valued in my portfolio. So the first one I'm gonna bring up that pays dividends is gonna be REML. So that is basically a mortgage-backed security. They make money off of buying mortgages, basically. Banks make a lot of money on when they lend people money to buy a home, and you guys can invest into this mortgage-backed security and you make dividends off of what they make. With this REML, I'll be making 13.87% and it pays me monthly, and I have about 100 shares of REML, which totals up to about $714. Next up we have QYLD. It is the global NASDAQ 100 covered call ETF. Shout out to my guy Mike. He's actually starting his own YouTube channel, but he actually works at PNC Bank. He's one of the top bankers in Philadelphia, and he was able to show me these stocks that pay a very high dividend. So with QYLD, it pays about a 11.37% dividend, and it's also monthly. I have about 45 shares, which totals up to a little over $1,000. And the next up we have is ORC, Orchard Islands. So it pays 15.51%. I have 250 shares, which adds up to a little over $1,200. And moving on to the biggest dividend investment that I've made and a majority of my portfolio is in is AT&T. And before you guys hate on me for putting so much money into this, hear me out. So I have 300, actually including my Roth IRA, we have about 400 shares of AT&T. That totals up to around almost $10,000, but we're gonna just talk about this individual account. So that has about $8,262 worth of AT&T, and AT&T pays every 3 months. months. So it pays about 7.5% dividend yield. That's about like 52 cents every 3 months. And it's only like $27 a share. And that's why I love it so much, because AT&T doesn't fluctuate too much. And when it goes down, I buy a lot. Right now, it's still around $27.54. I've been in AT&T for so long, I've seen it go up to, $32, $35. And now that it's dropped to $27, I just couldn't resist myself. So I bought, like 300 shares of it. My goal for this company is to just hold it. And AT&T is one of those dividend giants that have paid consistently over a very long period of time. And AT&T actually pays really well. 7.5% is very, very competitive in terms of, the average return in investing in the stock market. So, and I have a lot of research that I've done into AT&T, but I don't think I want to get into that and bore you guys with that today in this video. So I'll keep it, as kind of broad and open-ended as possible. I have other stocks too, including Tesla, but those stocks aren't dividends, so we're not going to be talking about that today. With AT&T, with 300 shares of it, if I make 50 cents every 3 months, that's about $150 every 3 months. That's about $50 a month, doing absolutely nothing, and that's only about $8,000 invested. Now imagine if you guys have $100,000 invested, if you guys have $1 million invested into any dividend stocks that around 7%. You guys can see the potential, and I think if you guys aren't convinced after this video, I don't think I did a good job then. So let me know in the comment section, guys, what do you guys think of dividends? What do you guys think of my explanation of dividends? And again, guys, if you took anything out of this video, please make sure to click that like button for me. I'd really appreciate it. And with that, guys, please stay humble, stay hungry. Peace out.